When we talk about love, most of us imagine it in the context of adulthood. We think about relationships, marriage, or long-term partnerships. But the truth is, the way we understand love, the way we receive it, and the way we give it, is shaped long before we ever enter a romantic relationship. It begins in childhood, in the earliest bonds we form with the people who raise us, nurture us, and teach us what love feels like. As children, we are like sponges, absorbing everything around us. Every hug, every word, every gesture, every moment of connection or absence of connection teaches us something about love. Some of us grew up in homes where affection was abundant, where hugs and kisses were part of daily life. Others grew up in homes where love was expressed through responsibility, where parents showed care by putting food on the table, paying the bills, and working hard. And some of us grew up in environments where love was inconsistent, where attention was scarce, or affection was tied to achievement, or perhaps where love felt conditional rather than unconditional. All of these early experiences matter. They do not just shape our childhood memories, they shape our love languages as adults. The way we come to understand love, the way we long to receive it later in life, is often rooted in how we first experienced it. For example, a child who was constantly praised, encouraged, and told they were loved may grow into an adult who deeply values words of affirmation. Simple compliments, verbal encouragement, and heartfelt "I love yous" feel natural and fulfilling to them, because that was the language of love they were surrounded with as children. On the other hand, a child who rarely heard those words but always saw acts of service, like meals being cooked, clothes being cleaned, and needs being met, may grow into an adult who interprets love primarily through actions. For them, someone doing something helpful, even something as simple as making coffee in the morning, feels far more powerful than words. Children who received love through physical touch, parents holding their hands, hugging them, cuddling them at night, often grow into adults who crave physical closeness. For them, touch is reassurance, it is comfort. It is the deepest reminder that they are cared for. Meanwhile, children who received gifts as tokens of affection, small surprises, birthday presents, thoughtful gestures, may see gifts not as material objects, but as symbols of love and thoughtfulness. And children who grew up in families that prioritize time together, playing games, talking, sharing meals, may value quality time as adults above all else. But it is not always that straightforward, right? Because childhood is not just about what we received, it is also about what we lacked. Sometimes our strongest love language as adults grows out of a longing for what we did not have enough of as children. A person who rarely heard words of affirmation may crave them the most later in life, because deep down, they are still seeking the reassurance they missed. Someone who did not receive physical affection may long for it as an adult, not because they were taught it was love, but because they always felt the absence of it. This is why love languages are not just about preference, they are about history. They carry the weight of our earliest experiences, and whether those experiences were fulfilling, inconsistent, or painful, they leave a mark on how we love later. Think for a moment about a child who grew up in a home where love was expressed but never spoken. The parents provided, cared, and sacrificed, but rarely said the words, "I love you." That child may grow up believing that love is proven through action, not words, and yet in their heart they may still yearn for those words. They may crave a partner who not only helps them, but also speaks to them with kindness and affirmation. And if that need goes unmet, they may feel unloved, even if their partner is showing love in countless other ways. Now imagine the opposite. A child who grew up hearing "I love you" every day, but whose parents were rarely physically affectionate. That child may come to value words, but also may long for touch. They may feel incomplete without physical closeness. And when they enter adulthood, their love language may be shaped by both what they received and what they were missing. It is important to understand that none of us chose our love language in a vacuum. We learned it, we absorbed it, and often we inherited it from the emotional culture of our family. In a way, our love language is the emotional accent we picked up in childhood. And just like accents, it can be changed, shaped, and softened over time, but the foundation often remains. This is why self-awareness is so important in relationships. When you understand that your love language is not random, but connected to your childhood, you gain a new level of compassion for yourself and for your partner. Instead of thinking, "Why am I like this?" you begin to realize, Oh, this is why words matter so much to me. This is why time means everything. This is why I feel unloved when I don't get physical affection. And when you look at your partner with the same lens, you begin to understand them more deeply too. Maybe your partner grew up in a family where showing up was love, but saying I love you was rare. So now, as an adult, they are not used to speaking love in words. It does not mean they do not love you. It simply means they learn to love differently. When you see that, you can bridge the gap. You can stop misinterpreting their actions as coldness, and instead realize that their language of love is rooted in their upbringing. But what happens when two people with very different childhoods come together? This is where miscommunication often arises. One partner expects love to be spoken, the other expects love to be shown. One longs for touch, the other believes providing financial security is enough. And when those expectations clash, it can feel like love is missing, when in reality, it is simply being expressed in a different dialect. This is why learning each other's love language is more than just a tool. It is a form of healing. Because when we learn to give love in the way our partner needs it, we are not only meeting their current desires, we are helping to heal the parts of them that were shaped in childhood. We are filling gaps, soothing old wounds, and offering them the kind of love they may have been waiting for their whole lives. Of course, childhood can also complicate things, because not all childhoods were safe or nurturing or filled with love. Some people grew up in environments where love was tied to conditions, where they were only praised when they achieved something or only noticed when they behaved perfectly. This can lead to adults who constantly seek affirmation, who fear rejection, or who struggle to feel secure in love. Others may have grown up in homes where affection was inconsistent, where sometimes love was abundant and other times it was absent. These adults may struggle with trust, always wondering if love will last. For these people, love languages are not just preferences. They are survival tools. They are the ways they test and measure whether love is safe, whether it will stay, whether it can be trusted. Understanding this can change the way we approach relationships. Instead of judging our partner for needing too much, we begin to see that their need is not too much. It is the echo of their childhood. And by meeting that need, patiently and consistently, we help them feel safe in a way they may never have felt before. This is why relationships are such powerful spaces for healing. They give us the chance to rewrite the script of our childhood, to experience love in new ways, to realize that love can be safe, unconditional, and lasting. But that only happens when both partners are willing to understand where their love languages come from and how they can honor each other's needs. Sometimes people resist this idea. They say, I had a tough childhood, but it doesn't affect me now. Yet if we look closely, we almost always find connections. The adult who avoids affection may have grown up in a home where touch was absent or uncomfortable. The adult who clings to reassurance may have grown up in a home where love was unpredictable. The adult who thrives on gifts may have learned that physical symbols were the only clear signs of care. Our childhood does not define us forever, but it leaves fingerprints that we carry with us. The good news is, those fingerprints do not have to trap us. Just because our love language was shaped by childhood does not mean it cannot evolve. As adults, we have the power to become aware of our patterns, to communicate them, and to consciously practice new ways of giving and receiving love. A person who grew up without touch can learn to appreciate it. A person who never heard affirmation can learn to value it. And a person who always equated gifts with love can learn to see the deeper meaning behind time or service. What matters most is awareness and communication. Because when we know where our needs come from, we can explain them to our partner. Instead of demanding love in a way that feels mysterious or confusing, we can say, "This matters to me because of what I experienced as a child." And when our partner hears that, love becomes deeper. It becomes more compassionate. It becomes more human. So how does childhood shape your love language as an adult? It does so in countless ways, through what you received, through what you missed, through what you longed for, and through what you were taught love looked like. It leaves invisible threads that weave into your adult relationships. And those threads explain why some things make you feel cherished while others leave you feeling empty. But here is the most important part. Knowing this is not about blaming your childhood. It is about understanding it. It is about realizing that your patterns of love are not flaws. They are stories. Stories written when you were small. Stories that still live inside you. Stories that you can now share with your partner so they can love you better. And when both people in a relationship do this, when they both explore the roots of their love languages, they begin to see each other not just as partners, but as children who once needed love in different ways. They begin to understand that loving each other today is not just about the present, it is also about honoring the past. And in that honoring, healing takes place. So yes, childhood shapes your love language as an adult. It shapes the way you crave love, the way you interpret it, the way you give it. But awareness gives you freedom. It gives you the power to grow beyond your past, to expand your love languages, and to create a relationship that is not limited by history but enriched by it.